If you've battled to introduce yourself effectively on networking calls or in large groups of people, we would love to help. Having a tremendous elevator pitch can help you articulate clearly who you are, what you're looking for, and where you're going. It drives the conversation toward excellence, and it keeps the conversation focused and short at just the time when you need to do exactly that. Follow our 4-step process in this episode to create an amazing elevator pitch. Does your elevator pitch stink? Let me tell you, I've seen a lot of elevator pitches in my day, and some of them have been amazing. People with clear stories, incredible backgrounds, and very vivid descriptions in such a short amount of time. But the majority of them, they're stinky. They are not what you would hope they would be. They're rambling. They're confused. They don't answer the question that I, the interviewer, am asking. And in general, I miss something. I'm not impressed, or I feel like it's too transactional. So what we need for a great elevator pitch is something that has a good construct, something that's warm and an excellent story, but also something that's vivid, that answers the questions that I've got. And today I'm going to walk through how you can do that. An elevator pitch is your most important tool to begin a networking conversation. And for many of you, your first interaction, especially in remote land, is going to be on a Zoom call or on a phone call with someone that you've never met before. They may know a little bit about you based on a LinkedIn profile, based on the email that you've sent them, and they might even have access to your resume, but they've never met you before. And this is your big opportunity to explain who you are in under 1 minute. Let me walk through how to do that. An elevator pitch should have 4 key pieces. Number 1 is your personal roots. Number 2 is your education. Number 3 is your experience. And number 4 is what's next. Miss any one of those parts, your elevator pitch stinks. Follow it, but also extend it for too long, elevator pitch also stinks. So I'm going to talk about both, including all 4 parts, and how to make each of them super brief. First of all, personal roots. You need to talk about something that shaped who you are as a person as you're introducing yourself. Something about themes of hard work, intellectual curiosity, global mindedness. Those are great themes, but you don't want to say, I grew up in Pakistan. You just want to say, I grew up in a home that valued X, or I was the first person in my household who went to college, or I overcame a lot of obstacles to start my first business when I was 15. Something that really tells me a positive, happy, achievement-oriented story about who you are in the context of where you came from. Personal root should be 1 sentence to open up your elevator pitch. Second, you want to make sure that you talk about your education. Some of you have 1 degree that you're currently completing. Some of you have completed 3 degrees. And as you're thinking about how you're going to tell this, you want to make sure that you give the right level of detail. If you're in the same country as somebody where you're having the networking conversation, you'll usually include the name of your school and your degree. But if you're in a different country, it might make more sense to just include the degree that you completed, especially if it's for earlier, more junior degrees than the one that you're going after, or the most recent one that you hold. Third, you're going to explain what your experience is. And this is really where the art of the elevator pitch comes in, because you have 1 sentence to explain 3 things that are important to you in not a lot of detail. So you're really here just describing title or role and company that you worked for, rather than the full CAR, context, actions, and results. You're going to leave longer stories to later in the conversation. And here your goal is highlights. So you might say something like, I worked for X consulting firm, I interned for Y strategy firm, and I worked in oil and gas as an intern as well. So you're therefore covering the different work experiences that you have. You can also weave in leadership experience if you were the president of a club, or if you're in an on-campus environment, and it makes a lot of sense to include those as one of your more prestigious experiences. Finally, and I would say most often people that do the first three pieces well succeed in the interview, but there are about 40% of people who still don't finish it well. They begin to ramble, they don't complete the story, and it doesn't go to where it needs to go. So what you should do at the end of your elevator pitch is make sure that you have a plan for how to land it. If you don't have a plan for how to land it, you might crash land it, or you might ramble into oblivion. So a plan to end it is usually to answer the question of what's next for you. Why are you looking? What are you looking to do that's a positive next step inside your career? Once you articulate that, if you say something like, I'm looking to have even more teamwork focused on solving fast-paced problems for companies globally, or I'm looking for an opportunity to work with 6 different companies instead of just one, or I'm looking for a company that has a really active professional development process. If you use generalities like that, but also specific answers to what's next, you're able to tie the dots between what they do at their company and what you want to do, but also leave a lot of conversation open for the future. In summary, you've got 4 sentences: personal roots, education, experience, and what's next. And those 4 sentences should take you no more than 1 minute to explain. With a punchy, great, enthusiastic start to any informational interview, using your elevator pitch gives an incredible introduction that answers the question that the interviewer is really asking, which is, would I want to work with this person, and would I feel comfortable leaving them in front of senior leadership? If the answer to both of those is yes, you're going to have a lot of fun having the remainder of the conversation and nearly guarantee yourself an interview. If you would like help working on your elevator pitch, we can coach you through it. We can walk you through what to say, how to say it, and how to construct it, and we can practice it together. Usually it takes 10 to 20 times practicing your elevator pitch until it becomes natural and comfortable for you. We would love to help. Just follow the link that's in the show notes. In addition, if you loved this episode and want more, subscribe, leave us a review, and make sure you share it with your friends. Thanks for joining this episode of Strategy Simplified.